What's up, Inside Lines fam? I'm your host, Atoya Burleson. Can you believe week 4 has passed? It's going so fast. Speaking of that, let's get right into the week 4 takeaways. Patrick Mahomes, in the game, accidentally fell and backed into his go-to wide receiver, Rashee Rice, and he may have suffered an ACL tear. Praying that that's not the case, but I will keep you updated there. Also, Deontay Johnson of the Carolina Panthers is turning into a top-tier wide receiver in his current situation, so y'all keep an eye out, especially in the fantasy world. Also, Jayden Daniels. Yes, Jayden Daniels, if y'all don't know who that is, he is the quarterback for the Washington Commanders, and he is killing it. He is putting on an offensive masterclass, and I look forward to seeing him continue. If y'all need a quarterback, pick up Jayden Daniels. You will be surprised if you have not been able to watch him. Check him out. It's amazing to see a rookie kill it like he's doing it. Okay, can we talk about Derek? I want to talk about Derek. If y'all don't know which Derek I'm talking about, it is Derrick Henry, who rushed for 199 yards. I'm wondering if we should attribute this to his impressive diet. He spends $250,000 on his health, which includes no fried foods, no dairy, no gluten, no artificial sugars, and he doesn't eat anything until 4 or 5 p.m. during the season. Not to mention, he only eats an avocado or a banana before practice. Talk about insane. Y'all let me know if y'all could do that. I don't know. That's tough. Okay, we're going to fast forward to women in sports and talk about 2 incredible women that are killing it. We're talking about Sandra Douglas Morgan for the Raiders and Christy Coleman for the Panthers. They made NFL history by facing off with both teams led by female presidents. That's right. We have female presidents on both teams and they faced off. And I just want to say congratulations to the both of them. Y'all made history, not just facing off against one another, but 2 female presidents in the NFL is amazing. Keep up the inspirational work. And finally, I am excited to announce that we have an amazing couple on our virtual couples date episode. That's right. This is our couples episode and we named it. Y'all ready for the name? Drum roll, please. Nate and I have agreed to name it Double Date with Atoya and Nate. Easy enough, right? If you can think of any couples that you would like to hear from, someone that you would want us to talk to and go on a double date with, please leave us a message, let us know, and we will reach out to them. Okay, so the wait is over for this amazing couple who we had so much fun with. Let's get into our episode with Devale and Kayden Ellis. Today, we have a power couple duo. We'll start with Kayden, who is a wife, mother, actress, Webby Award winner, and Devale is an athlete and actor, and they are both New York Times bestsellers. Please welcome to the show, Kayden and Devale.
Hey y'all.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to meet y'all.
We are so happy to meet y'all. Yes. So happy that you are on, and this has been in the works for a while with Inside Lines Podcast. I really wanted to start featuring couples. I felt like it was important, and so I find the best couples to bring on, and I'm so happy y'all said yes. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks
for having us. We know how hard it is trying to navigate schedules and family and all the things. So the fact that this happened at the same time, we're already winning.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. And I know we were talking behind the scenes before the podcast started, but let me just say this. I want to give y'all flowers because as you talked about, it's not easy navigating relationships in professional life. But you guys have done it and done it on a scale where other couples can look at you and model their lives after. And I'm not just talking about young couples, I'm talking about your peers and even older couples. So salute, give you your flowers while you can smell them.
That means a lot.
Onward and upward to bigger and better things. They cracked the door and y'all kicked it down and we win it.
Oh man, y'all.
Okay, now are we bringing
we bringing all y'all with us. Okay,
That's a fact.
We all in there. We all in there.
That's a fact.
Nah, that means a lot. Thank you so much. It does.
We appreciate that so much. Y'all.
Absolutely. And what I want to start with is I know people know who you are now, and you've talked about it before, but let's back it up a little bit and talk about when y'all first met, because I think it's important for people to hear your mindset then to how you have matured over the years. So how did y'all first meet? Let's hear about it.
Just taking it back. Every time I tell this story, I realize, oh my God, we're that much farther removed from that moment. We actually went to the same elementary school. So it dates back to like very, very, very early days.
Yeah.
I knew who he was in like the second and third grade, but our paths crossed pretty much our entire lives. So even though he left the school that we were in initially and went on to another school, we ended up going to rival high schools.
Yeah.
And then the same school that we attended as children at elementary school level had a scholarship banquet in 2002?
2002, yeah.
2002 had a scholarship banquet. I was there co-hosting the event, and Devale was receiving a scholarship.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of knew who he was over the years. I kind of had my eye on him because, like I said, we crossed paths so many times. But at that particular event, when I looked at the list of honorees, I saw his name on there. And I said, that's going to be the night I shoot my shot.
Ooh!
Yeah,
it's crazy,
so
right?
I came prepared, y'all. I came prepared to just bait and reel him in. So we were talking at the event the entire time, pretty much.
Yeah.
At the very end of the event, you can take this part over because he likes to say that I was being a little too eager trying to get his phone number. But I don't think it went down like that. He had a plan.
I had a plan. You didn't let me, roll out my plan because she was eager.
Okay.
Right.
When she first walked up on me, she's a beauty queen. She had on her sash, the crown and everything. And I was like, damn. Like, but you get 18, you go from damn to, what's up, ma?
Yeah. Put the cool voice on.
You know what I'm saying? You put the cool voice on and she comes out and she's just like, Brian and Devale Ellis. And I was like, oh, she know me. And she was just, being real nice and she was charming. And then I watched her host the whole event and I was like, man, she fine. But her father is West Indian from St. Vincent. And if you grow up in Brooklyn, you know that there's a little bit of dissension between Black people and Indian people. So I thought I didn't have a shot. Because when I first saw her father, I was like, man, he Indian, he don't really mess with us like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no way. I'm like, there's no way. So I was kind of playing it cool, but we were talking for like hours. And I was like, man, this girl is really, really pretty. Like, I want to ask her for her number. So I said, I'm going to do what my pops told me to do. I'm going to wait till the very end of the show. I'm going to say, my name's Devale. It was a pleasure to meet you. And let her walk away. And then once I let her walk away, I was going to do the give me 1 second. No. I was going to make it romantic. Like, she was like, that's what I was going to do. But that didn't happen. You know why? This Brooklyn girl right here grabs my thing and says, boom, since you ain't going to ask me for my phone number, and wrote it in my book.
In his program booklet. We were literally at Valet, y'all. Like, my parents were about to get in the car. My mother, of course, was looking like, who is this boy she's been talking to all night long? And I'm like, bro, now's the moment. Like, we're either going to strike while the iron's hot or you're going to just walk away from me again for another couple years.
I had a plan. You didn't let me have the plan. But here's the funny part, though. After she gave me her number, right, I spent all summer calling her, and she was dodging me.
Ah.
I wasn't dodging him, guys. I was juggling a bit. I was busy. I had appearances. I had things to do.
See?
I had to. I just couldn't be I couldn't be that thirsty off the bat. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I felt like I did enough.
So you went the whole summer.
You see what I'm saying?
So, you know what I'm saying?
The whole summer.
It was already August. You were going back to school anyway.
I was.
So it was a couple weeks.
So when did you guys take that step and really evolve into a more serious relationship?
Man, I was in college, and this was the first semester. I get a phone call from a random number, and it's, "Hey, handsome."
Ooh, I'm like, hold up.
Who is this?
Okay.
She turned it up.
I'm
like, who is this? She like, who it sound like? I'm like, it sound like Kayden.
You better say the right name.
That's right.
It sounded like Kayden, but I've been calling Kayden all summer and she ain't answering my phone call. She was like, no, I was busy because of the pageants, but I just so happened to be coming to Hofstra for the Cancer Light the Night Walk. Are you available? So I'm on the inside. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm available. But I said, I might be.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I know what you was doing.
You
I know what you was doing.
You see. So the next day she came and I had it all set up. I called my boys, Bilal, Pitt, and Steve. And I was like, yo, I got this bad chick coming. Like she fine as hell, so I'ma smash. I told them, I said, yo, I'ma smash. But the only way I'ma smash is if y'all give me the okay. So I'm gonna go pick her up, bring her to the student center. Y'all give me the once over. You know, because I'm 18. I ain't thinking about nothing else. I'm being honest.
That's a fact. And you want to show off a little bit. Show off to the homies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I pull up. She walks out of Hofstra USA. And she's even more beautiful this day than she was when she was all made up. She had this long black. Yeah, you knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing.
Okay.
She had on, now Nate, you know black women, right? She had on these khaki pants that had the right amount of stretch.
Say less. I already know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you ain't even got finished. You ain't had the right amount of hug, is what you're saying.
Yes, you know what I'm saying, right?
And she knew what she was doing. She pulled them things out. Was like,
the cuff was cuffing, y'all. It was
cuffing. Nate. I didn't see this in the gown she had on before. I didn't see this. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
She may be more black than Indian.
You said, hold on, she dragging some wagon back there. Hold on, wait a minute.
I was like, oh, this is going down. So I get out the car. I open the door. I'm a gentleman. I take her to the student center. She walks in front of me. We walk by all my boys. All my boys, gentlemen, how you doing? My name is. The minute she gets past them, there's all of them. All of them. So
y'all were 18-year-old boys for sure.
Oh yeah, we were 18. We had no we was just doing whatever. So I take her to the student center. I had my meal card. I had $1,600 on my meal card. I said, baby,
you can have whatever you like.
Go get it.
Listen.
Yo, get whatever you want. Nate, you know that feeling.
I know.
So, I'm like, come on, first date. Yes.
So I'm thinking she's gonna get like a salad with some strawberries on it. You know, because she's a pageant girl. She goes in there, she goes, yo, let me get honey turkey, American cheese, lettuce, tomato with onions and garlic. I'm like, God!
That's my girl.
All of that?
Don't get the pickles and a bag of chips.
On a foot-long sub, yo. And she's like, I'll take extra meat too.
And what kind of drinks y'all got?
I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, she had a ginger ale. She got all of that stuff. She put it in her bag. And she's like, I'm ready. So we went back to my room. And I'm like, yo, about to go lay the Mac down. And before I knew it, it's 3 hours. And we talking about life. We not talking about sex. We just talking about life. And this for the first time ever in my life, a woman asked me, an 18-year-old woman at that asked me, well, what do you want to do with your life? And Martin was on television. And I said, I want to do that. She was like, that? I said, I want to have my own TV show. I want to act. I got a plan. If I can make a practice squad and make $100,000 in these 4 months, we can put that down on a brownstone. We can do this. We can make our money. And we don't have to be starving artists. And she looked at me and she said, well, how are we going to get there?
And he was saying we. I was like, we? So I was like, where we going? And how are we going to get there? Because I was down. Like, we didn't expect that at all. So to answer your question, Nate, it got serious like immediately.
And I didn't smash. Like I at that point I had a different level of respect for who she was, and smashing wasn't even on my mindset. At this point it was like, yo, don't mess this up, because she just seems different. She's the only person, grown or not grown, that when I told them my dream didn't laugh and be like, you ain't gonna be no actor. She was the only person I was just like, okay, well, how are we gonna get there?
It was that intellectual intimacy. And that spiritual intimacy, that connection that was much deeper.
Yes. That's a fact. And it was like instant. It was instant. And here we are 22 years later, y'all.
Yeah, you did
4 boys, married 14. So I did that. Good thing I shot my shot, y'all.
You did.
Okay, so you both are officially dating.
Yes.
At some point in your relationship, Devale, you get the call that you're going to go to the NFL. Tell us what that was like. And I want to hear from Kadine's side how it was for her as a female, because I remember mine. So I would love to hear y'all's story.
Great.
It was, man, this is actually crazy because it was draft day. I was expected to go anywhere between the 4th and the 6th round. I got phone calls from the Steelers, the Packers, and the Eagles. And I remember saying, like, yo, these are all teams that needed slots. But remember, I was on the same team as Marcus Colston. Marcus Colston was expected to go top of the 2nd round. It is now the 6th round, and Marcus' name hasn't even been called yet. So I'm like, it ain't happening for me. Like, if Marcus ain't get called, there's no way I get drafted. And
but even with that said, it's still a harsh reality though, because you know you're talented.
Bro,
That's tough.
Nate,
I know it's tough to deal with.
Nate, we got pictures, bro. I sat there and like trying not to cry because I'm there with my girl at the time. A couple of my family members came out, and this is when the draft was. I think it was 3 days. Like, it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was the Sunday night, and the whole draft came and went. And I watched a guy from Maine, who I torched Maine for 3 seasons in a row at Hofstra, and he ended up getting drafted like 2 spots before Marcus. And I remember just turning the TV off. I didn't even see Marcus get drafted. I turned the TV off, and I went into the intramural fields, and I found a chair. There was one chair sitting there. And I sat down in the chair and I just put my hands in my head because I felt like I failed, like I just like, dang, like I didn't get drafted. And then I felt somebody come and just lift my chin up. When I looked up, it was my girlfriend at the time. And she said these words to me. She said, didn't you walk on the Hofstra? What makes you think this is going to be any different? And I was like, she straddled me. I put my head in her chest and I cried, let it all out. And at that point, I said, yo, I'm going to get in the NFL and I'm going to show all these motherfuckers. Sorry, my bad. I don't know if we can curse.
That's fine. That's facts.
That's what it felt like for me. And at that point, I was like insanely determined to prove to everybody.
It was almost like a switch that went off in him because, of course, I could see the disappointment and I'm watching and my stomach is like in my throat the entire time. But when I saw the light go out in him, I'm like, that's just not him. That's not the Devale I know. That's not the Devale that approached everything that I had witnessed in life so far with him with like 1,000% effort and 1,000% work ethic. So I'm like, bro, like your story is not going to be here he was, he played, he had a great college career, he got drafted, he went to the league, and it's just like, la, 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 here we go. I said, there's depths to your story. And I said, you have to. I said, it's not going to be, you're not going to rest until you know for sure that you gave it everything you had. And I know what was bothering him at the time was that he felt like his livelihood was dependent on everyone else's decisions, which we know that's the NFL. That's the business of it. Yeah. But I just knew that there was more in him to prove. And at that point, I was like, well, go off, bro. Do your thing. Go off.
I told her, I said, I'm going to keep training. Hopefully I get a free agent tryout opportunity. A high priority free agent. And then the whole week went by. I didn't hear nothing. Mm-hmm. And then 2 days before rookie minicamp, I get a phone call from my agent, Art Weiss, and he's like, hey, the Lions want to bring you in for a free agent tryout. There's no promises, no guarantees. But the good thing is, if you don't sign there, next week the Jets want to bring you in. I told them, I said, fuck the Jets, because they should have drafted me. When I go to Detroit, when I go to Detroit, I'm coming back with a contract. And he's like, I'll just hold on to the Jets. I said, Art, fuck the Jets. When I go to Detroit, I'm coming back with a contract. And I went to that rookie minicamp, and I played so hard at this rookie minicamp, Nate. I had no toenails on my first two. You're a receiver, so you know.
I already know.
The stop and start, the ha. I was returning punts. I was playing gunner. I was doing everything to prove to them. And at the end, I thanked them. I said, I want to thank you guys for pouring into me. This is a great opportunity. And Sean Jefferson said, Devale,
Sean Jefferson, my guy.
You know Sean? Oh, Sean, yes.
That was my coach.
Sean, yes, Sean Jefferson. Sean Jefferson, he's my guy to this day. He's at the Jets right now.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yes.
He just called me last week.
That's crazy.
Just called me last week, man. And he was like, Devale, I'll see you next week. I was like, what you mean? He said, you're going to be a Detroit Lion. And then I got the contract. The first person I called was my girlfriend.
Yes.
And I know it's crazy. People think you're going to call your mom or your dad. But when I tell you this woman right here was with me in the trenches, she knows all my plays. She did all my receiver drills when I didn't have no quarterbacks to throw. She stood over me and spiked the ball so I could catch it with my hands.
Yep.
She used to yell out all my plays in college. She made all my meals. When I separated my shoulder and had to sleep upright, she slept upright with me. And I was like, this is the
Like
things, these are the things that people don't know when you have somebody who believes in your dream. And even now, sometimes people are like, why he dote on his wife so much? He talks so much about his wife. Like why he got to prove that he loves her? I'm like, y'all have no idea what me and this woman have been through since 18 years. Or it's 22 years.
It's been a long road.
Like, and y'all know, because y'all have been through it too.
That's a fact.
But if it wasn't for her, man, I wouldn't have had that. Like, I never felt alone. I felt like every time I walked out to do something, I could look over and she'd be like, yo, go.
And vice versa. Because it's literally been the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I had something to do, it was a job interview, whatever it was just like you always had a teammate. That's like the best part of this partnership here. It's like you never feel alone.
Yeah. And Kayden, that was my next question. You know, Devale went through his journey to chase his dream. What was it like as a young woman trying to figure out what you wanted to do, what you wanted to be in this world?
While supporting him.
And still trying to figure out who you were.
That is an amazing question. And I said that's the biggest struggle. When I look back on our 22 years, the biggest struggle was trying to figure out who am I? Because you think you know at 18 and 19, I got everything figured out, but you really don't. Until them 20s hit and life comes at you fast and you're just like, what exactly am I doing here? Mm-hmm. And I did have moments where I was listening to the noise around me, whether it was my mom or friends that were just like, well, Kayden, like, you can't just graduate from grad school, up and leave and go to Detroit just to follow Devale. You know, that was the narrative. It's like, you're going to follow Devale. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, so what exactly do I do? Do I let him do his thing and then me try to figure my things out and then we just kind of figure out when we can get back together? But something deep inside of me was like, you know what? This relationship was a lot of, if this is your moment, I'm going to support you through this moment. And I don't mind taking the back seat because I know once my moment comes, you're going to have to be in the back seat to help push me forward. And that's literally how we worked in tandem. So once he retired from the league, then it was like, all right, Kayden, he's trying to figure out what he wants to do next. You have to push forward. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to get a job in the meantime. I went to school for broadcasting. The recession hit. I couldn't find a job on any news station.
Hold on. I don't want to cut you off, but she's forgetting a very important part.
What's that?
The whole time that I was in Detroit, she was still looking to work. Mm-hmm. She went and tried to do, I think it was a reporter search.
It was a traffic reporter search in Detroit.
She made it to top 5 out of 400 people. She was always like working. She was never just sitting there with the pom-pom saying, hey, Devale. She was constantly working. My first 2 years in the league, she was getting her master's degree.
Right.
And they used to call us the real life game because remember
the show?
Melanie
of course.
Yes.
Yeah, she was in grad school while I was a rookie and I was a free agent. So people used to call us Derwin and Melanie all the time on Detroit. So she was always like, I'm here to support you, Devale.
Right.
But we have a little story when she kind of gave me an ultimatum in 2007.
It was not an ultimatum, guys.
Yo, she said, I'm not going to be your living girlfriend. Okay? I got things I want to do. I think I do better in TV back in New York. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back to New York to focus on my career. And at that point, it was kind of like, Devale, you got to shit or get off the pot, bro. Like, I can't just keep her here just saying, just trust me. But I wasn't trying to hold her hostage. I was trying to build the right financial situation to do things the right way for us. Like, I wanted to propose when I had the money to give her the wedding that I know she wanted. I wanted to get the house that I know that we both wanted. And at the time, you're a free agent in the NFL. People think that you make millions of dollars. You don't.
That's a
you
fact.
don't.
Talk about it.
Like, low key, it's check to check, for real.
Yes, bro.
Yes. And for a short period of time, you make all this, and it has to last you the entire year. You got to plan for it.
Rookie year, I made $275. Think about that, just $275. Automatically, the government's going to take 40% of that. So that you can take away $100K. So now I got $175, right? I also got to pay my agent. I live in 2 states because I live in New York and I live in Detroit. So now you can bring that 175 down to about, after living expenses in both states, about $60K.
Yep. Cost of living, food, date nights, all that, flights, everything.
And now you the breadwinner for everybody. So if people got things, Devale, Devale, can you? And you got
just family
survivor's
stuff
remorse.
too.
And you low key feel, you feel obligated.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
hard part that a lot of players struggle with is the family part. They
family
think you're
part.
instant millionaires because you're in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle for both of us, but we continued to. It was a beautiful struggle.
Yeah, it was.
Because I learned through that process that I got a girl who rock with me no matter what. Imagine you live in a cul-de-sac. You got a big ring on. You know, I got a house, and now your husband's like, I'm not playing football no more. You may have to go back to work. And she goes, okay. Flips her ring inside, gets on the train, goes to work at Mac in the mall because she don't feel no shame. She like, I don't care. I'm gonna do.
We gonna figure this out.
Figure it out. Exactly. And to your point, Nate, when asking the question, like, how did you do it? We were literally just figuring things out day by day. But we knew what the goal was. Like, since the age of 18 on his bed in college, we talked about what the next 5 years would look like, the next 10 years would look like. And to this day, we do that. Like, it hasn't stopped for us. And it's just great to look back now, 22 years later, and see all of the boxes that we checked and all of the dreams and goals that were now coming to fruition and the rest of our lives, like the things that we have planned for us and our family and our boys. It's crazy. It's crazy to look at.
So now that you guys have went through the struggles of being in college, navigating the professional world for both of you, now Devale and Kayden are household names. You guys are doing it on a high level.
Crazy.
And you know what Big said, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
Like, you think, people think when you're more successful that life gets easier. But no, you have to put more work into your jobs, more work into your relationships, more work into everything, into your own self, the person you look at in the mirror, your spiritual walk, all these things. So what are some of the difficulties that came along with this success?
Oh, man.
Finding time. I have one vice in this world. My one vice is this woman right here. When I can't get her, when I want her, I'm not in a good mood. Like, to be honest, Kayden goes into a point where it's like, okay, my work is going to get done. And then it's work, then her family, then the kids, then the house. And then it's like, Devale, you all right? And sometimes I have to remind her, like, yo, I can't always be last. Like, I know that I'm supposed to be the rock and supposed to do this. And then I had to look at myself and be like, do I do the same thing to her? And then it was like, oh, because when I get into my mode, I'm on whatever it is I got to do. And then I come back and I'm like, babe, what's up? And then she got a little attitude. And I'm like, dang, I put her last. Like, and I'm like, that's the part of life where you forget. The whole reason why we're doing this is because we have each other.
Yeah.
And then we put each other on the back burner. And you lose sight of that. Like, this is the only reason why it all works.
That was a recent conversation that we had when both of us just felt like...
We had a recent conversation like that, too.
I was just about to say, this sounds real familiar.
Like, it just hit us. Like, 2024, it has been a blessing of a year. Don't get us wrong. But it's literally been non-stop. And I had a tour plan for my new talk show that I was putting out, a live show, A Day with Kay. And we looked at each other maybe about 8 weeks out, and both of us were just like, I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know how we're physically going to be in all the places that we need to be in September. Within the first 2 weeks of September, we had like nine flights booked. And some of them were together. Some of them were like, he was going one place, I was going another place. And then as the schedule progressed, we forgot that he would have tour for his new film coming out on Netflix this Christmas. So that there was a bunch of conflicts. And I said, Devale, what are we really doing here? Not to mention the boys starting a brand new school.
I was going to say, all 4 of our boys started a new school. And I'll never forget the day Kay realized she was missing a school thing.
Like,
Kay don't play about, like, she don't play about that.
Yeah.
And then Kay was just like, wait a minute, Jackson has... And then I seen her eyes well up,
many things.
And I was like, wait. You know, we don't got to do this.
Oh yeah, heavy.
You know, I was like, we don't got to do this, Kay. And she's like, what you mean? I said, we don't have to push for. The reason why we created this type of lifestyle is to have autonomy over our time.
Right.
Why are we now letting the market and people dictate what we want to do? Okay, they feel like we'll have another successful tour. We'll make a lot of money. At what cost, babe?
That's so true.
At what cost? And then she was like, you know what?
Didn't even think
Let's
about
just push it. And here's the best part. When you tell those people who are in charge, we're going to push it, and they say, okay, that's fine. you start to realize, like, wait a minute.
Yeah. When you stand on it, when you stand on business in your firm, they're like, oh, okay. All
Yes.
right.
It was that easy?
But if they can stretch you, they're going to stretch you.
Yes.
There's the
yes,
mom
Nate.
guilt. There's the career guilt. There's like, you know, that feeling, because, you know, we're not in the conventional like workforce. You know, like we're not like, hey, we go in, we have our job, we work 9 to 5. This is like, sometimes you have to take the opportunity because it may move the needle. You have to strike while the iron is hot.
Yep.
So it's like coming off of a successful sold out tour. It's like, when's the next tour? What's the next thing? And like, why are we doing all this? But like, we're barely seeing our children because we're in transit so much. Like, it just didn't make sense. So that was like one of the definite struggles. It's just having to balance and to juggle everything. And I realized too that I can't always, I think my mindset for a while was, you know, Deval's an adult. We're both adults. We understand how crazy our life is. So he should just understand when I'm busy or I'm in mom mode or I'm trying to be in work mode. Like, he should just understand. And I had to really realize after he spoke with me about it is that he shouldn't have to always understand.
Yeah.
There's times when I should know to push the pause button, which is crazy because usually he's the one working like crazy.
Yeah.
So for him telling me like, hey, you need to like hit the pause button and just like reel things back in. It's those real life moments and those real life discussions that we have in real time and then we correct it. That's one thing that we've definitely learned over the years. We don't let things fester.
I will say this though. I feel like more people have to stop pledging allegiance to their gender and pledge allegiance to their partner. Because there's a lot of times we do stuff like, as a man, I got to do this and I got to keep. Or Kayden feeling like, well, as a woman, I can't pause now because I got womanhood on my back. No, put things on pause because your family needs you. As a man, put things on pause because my wife needs me. Not because my manhood determines that as the leader, I got to go make more money. I've done that before and it's led me down the wrong path. I'll tell you about our wedding. You know how most people like to be like, my wife want to spend all this money. She want to do all that. I'll be the first to admit I was the one spending a lot of money because I'm a pro athlete at the time. All my boys got married and they all had platinum weddings. My wife's not going to go without a platinum wedding. And we spent a shit ton of money for no reason.
Yeah.
Because I was pledging allegiance to my gender. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a
Your
man,
gender and your ego.
Yes, my ego. I pledge allegiance to my ego. You know, I'm a man. You want that dress? You want that ring? Where you want? That's what we getting. And then
right. Don't worry, I already bought it. You ain't even got to answer.
It's over. I got it already.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I did the same thing. When it comes to just treating, you feel like you got to do all of these things and put all of this stuff and lean in on these material items. When in reality, I remember my wife had to tell me like, all of this is great. Like the material items are cool, the nice house, the cars, the clothes, the trips. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I just need you.
Yeah.
That's all I need is you.
Yeah. Bro.
Because that's how we started.
Yeah,
Look how happy we were in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? We had each other. You know, we had 39-cent cheeseburgers at McDonald's.
Oh, come on.
For us, it was the Friday. We went to Fridays. It was like the 3-something menu.
The Jack Daniels Tower.
It was like the 3-something.
The $3 menu.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
$3 for like $20.
And was happy as could be.
Yes.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's really, this is for me. I don't want to speak for Nate, but for me, it was like I got to choose the right person. I have to have discernment. And when I found the right person, I was focused on all the things I wanted to accomplish. It wasn't until I got older and more mature in my marriage that I realized that it's more important for me to focus on what my wife needs. And that was what we wrote our book on. We Over Me. Is Devale has to stop focusing on Devale and start focusing on Kay. And if Kay focuses on Devale, we would have exponential energy to keep pushing out the things we need for our family. And not for nothing, since we started doing that, things have been way better.
So much better.
Oh my gosh.
So much better. And it's crazy that you would think 22 years in, we maybe realized this around what year? 19-ish?
19, yeah.
It was like
19.
around year 19.
It was like,
you know,
like recent. It was recent.
And it's like, oh my God, this big revelation.
And that's okay because we're similar in the sense that we all met very young. I met her. I was 18 when I met her. So like, you know, we were babies trying to figure it out.
And
then you get older and you realize like, damn, like we low key overcomplicated the early stages of our relationship because of a lack of knowledge and maturity. And we just really didn't get to know each other. I tell her all the time, I wish I would have did premarital counseling. I wish that we would have got to know each other on a deeper level.
Yeah.
I wish there were certain men in my life that told me, the more you know about your wife, her past, her traumas, what scares her, what motivates her, the more you know about those things, the easier it is to be the best lover she ever had.
Nate.
But instead, as a man, I'm like, nah, I know how to love on my wife. I know how to do for my wife. I gotta go out there and provide, go bring home the bacon. I'm straight. But that was all ego.
Nate, that's all gospel, bro. You really just spoke from my heart. I learned the most about my wife when I learned about her mom and dad. I learned the struggles from coming from Jamaica and St. Vincent. I went back to visit St. Vincent and I seen how her dad grew up. And I said, oh,
this is in April.
This is April. This
year.
This is year 21 of our marriage. 21 of our relationship. 13 of our marriage that I realized, like, yo, my wife is like this, not because she's trying to mess with me. She's like this because her parents raised her this way. And I was like, this whole time I was fighting against something I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And it was my ego. Because like you said, I can do this. I can turn this woman into what I need her to be. I can be everything she wants me to be. And I'm like, I don't really know what she wants because I'm not even asking her. Because my ego is telling me what I know is, and it's not. My ego don't know shit.
And I don't know if you guys had as examples growing up, but we didn't necessarily have the best examples of what it was to be a husband and wife, nor because they were figuring it out too, right? Our parents or aunts and uncles and stuff like that, they were already jaded by their past and their relationships that part of me kind of felt inequipped and unready for marriage because what did I have to look at? Maybe Disney movies, like
right.
Normally like happily ever after, but nobody has like okay, so what happens after the happily ever after? Like what does marriage actually look like? And that's why we do what we do, even just having our podcast, dead ass. Like we realized that there was a deficit within at least our community of people sharing their experiences because the beauty in sharing, because people always ask us like, why do you guys share so much? We pick and choose what we share. Yes. We're honest and transparent in what we share, but there's a beauty in sharing because you can realize that you're not the only one going through a particular struggle. You're not the anomaly in the situation. This is just kind of how relationships are, or this just may be how men or women think. And then we've even had scenarios where men were agreeing with me and women agreeing with Devale. It's just a people thing. So just having the spaces like this even to just share our stories, it's so valuable because it makes you want to like look at your partner and say, you know what? We're not the only ones. Like we can work through this. People are working through this.
I can tell y'all right now, there are going to be some young men and women who are going to watch this. And they're going to say to themselves, dang, so we're not the only ones going through this. Because that's the message we get all the time. People say my Deadass podcast grew a lot. Yeah, because people realized how normal we all are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Like we just normal. Like we're guessing. We're all guessing and figuring it out. And it's like, oh, y'all have problems with physical intimacy. So do we. Y'all have financial issues. So do we. It doesn't matter your tax bracket. We all have these issues. One thing I have learned, though, these issues can all be solved with communication and grace.
Hey, grace. That word right there.
Everything.
I cling on to that more than anything in my life. It's grace. You got to give it to others. You got to give it to your spouse. And more importantly, you got to give it to the person you look in the mirror every day.
Yourself.
You got to give it to yourself.
As a black man, I'm glad you said that. Because I've learned how to give myself grace because I'm an overachiever. Yeah. We're used to as athletes being told how wrong we are.
Well, especially as a black man and an athlete, we are so hard on ourselves. Like we are so overcritical at times. We are our worst coaches. You know what I mean? We complain about these men that used to yell at us, but the stuff we say to ourselves in our own heads is 10 times worse, 100 times worse. But grace, I just feel like that's a word that just gets me through so many days.
Yeah.
I beg you to think about this. As much as we are hard on ourselves, think about how much we project that on our wives.
Devale, you spot on. You spot on.
Like, I know I used to nitpick at stuff with her because I thought that that's the only way to love somebody to be better. Because we used to get nitpicked as athletes all the time. So it's like if you nitpick and you correct them, they'll fall into greatness. And I know what I wanted for my wife. I wanted my wife to be great like me. So interviews, I'm nitpicking her outfits. I'm nitpicking her attitude. I'm like, watch your attitude. Then I realized, like, man, I'm not your coach. Like,
and sign up for a coach.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, for me, my projection, it came in a different form because, like, I don't really try to change or adjust who she is. Like, I'm one of those guys, I just kind of accept you as you walk in the room. But what I projected was my assumptions on why she was communicating with me a certain way. And I took that on and I just spun that in a complete different way. I thought that she was too hard on me.
And I'd be like, huh?
I thought that because she's an A-type and she wants improvement from everybody around her, including me, being her husband.
And me.
Yeah. And I thought those little moments where she was telling me I can be better at communicating or spending time with her or leaning into conversations, I thought she was never happy with the final product. So I'm like, if you always are asking me for little improvements, have you ever been happy with the product of who I am?
Yeah.
But I realized that was all projection. She's been happy with me and she's told me a million times, but what I was hearing was my own insecurities. And that's why, like, my projection came in a different form. And honestly, it came with, like, couples therapy and realizing, like, how we communicate really determines, like, how we see each other. And from there, like, that will determine how we live.
Yeah, I remember having that conversation with you, Nate, and I remember telling you, like, you've always been enough. You know, me talking to you about something is because I want you to be great. And I understand that as an athlete. You know, I was an athlete. You know, I ran track in college, so I understand that grind. And so for me, if I'm telling you something, it's coming from a place of love and from understanding, not to make you feel bad or to feel worse.
Yeah.
And so once you really break through to each other and you're able to communicate or receive it in a space where it's edifying you, then you understand what it really was meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, that sounds that sounds
crazy.
Similar to us, but flipped.
Yeah.
Because Kay would get defensive. I could tell her every day how great she is. The one day I'd be like, "Hey, babe, I don't like the way you did this." Then it's like, "I don't do nothing right." I'm like, "What?"
I can't do anything right around here. I mean, come on.
Not one thing.
Nate, real talk. One day I got kind of mad and I said, "Kay, let's just rehash this week." Monday, didn't I tell you was great? She was like, yes. I said, Tuesday, then we go on date night. You was great. She said, yeah. Wednesday, we had amazing sex. Didn't I tell you how great that was? She was like, yeah. I said, Thursday, I told you how great you were as a mom. Yeah. Friday, I was a little bit upset about one thing. What was I supposed to do? Not say nothing ever? And she was like, no, I don't want to hear nothing negative.
Because
I need all the positive.
The whole week never existed after that. It's like, nah.
That was it. But then I realized too, that was just also my background, coming from the space of, like, always wanting to be perfect, like striving for perfection, even just self-sabotaging if I feel like I wasn't perfect in a moment when I really could have just tried so many more things throughout the course of my life, you know? So it's just funny to see how it rears its head in relationships, and thank God for grace.
For sure. You ready to move on to the second or third quarter?
Okay, so we're going to move on to a fun game.
The last part of this show.
It's just a kind of a point, and you guys just point to each other, okay? The first question, this game is called Who's Most Likely To. So the first one is, who's most likely to apologize first?
Oh, okay. Wake up early.
Oh, yes, I will.
Yeah, you wake up with the kids. I don't be with them kids.
Okay.
Discipline the kids.
Okay. Plan a date night.
Oh.
Who said I love you first?
Asking 2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I came in hot. I told you.
I said thanks.
Nah.
Devale!
It was 2 weeks. I was 18.
Thanks,
I was
bro.
18. I didn't know. We hadn't even smashed yet.
Yeah. 2 weeks. Hey, 2 weeks is kind of crazy though.
Come on, man.
It is. Brother Nate, you're absolutely right. I was wilding.
But she knew what she knew.
I knew.
She did.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
All right. Okay. So plan a trip. Is that like planning a date? Who plans the trips? Okay. So you're the planner.
Who gets upset first? We kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get upset.
Okay.
Definitely.
Scroll on social media. Who's on their phone scrolling on?
Because I'll be shopping. Like, what you mean? We always need toilet paper and things.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the introvert?
Oh, who's the messiest? Oh, okay.
That's about right. We're about the same in a lot of those categories, which is great. Okay, and this is a simple, quick game too. This one's called "How Well Do You Know Me?" So I'm gonna ask Devale a question, and then I'm gonna ask Kayden, or Nate's gonna ask Kayden, or vice versa. So this is it's easy. I don't make this difficult. Okay, Devale, what is Kayden's favorite color?
Yellow.
Indeed.
Kayden?
Devale's is red.
Yep.
Okay, what is Kayden's favorite movie?
Dirty Dancing.
Very good.
Okay. Kayden?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is hard.
This is hard.
Devale
Now,
has several. I'm going to just throw it out there and say Bad Boys.
come on, man.
Okay.
Come on, man.
We
Devale.
ride together, we die together.
Hey, Devale, we might low key be cousins, bro.
y'all
That's my
gotta-
favorite movie,
this is
bro.
crazy.
That's my favorite
crazy.
movie. It's a classic. It's a classic.
It is. It don't get much better than Bad Boys.
It sure don't.
Okay,
right.
I'll start with Kayden this time. Kayden, who is Devale's favorite artist?
Ooh.
Man, if you mess this up.
Were you talking about like recording artists, like music?
Yeah, record music. Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson.
What's my son's first name?
Jackson. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Devale?
You were
Yes.
just doing that rap cipher, so I'm thinking Jay-Z and whatnot. But yeah, Michael Jackson.
Devale, what about Kayden's?
Favorite artist? I would have to go with Beyonce.
Yeah.
She's the
Never go
Beehive.
wrong with B.
You know.
Captain of the
You can never
Beehive
go
over
wrong.
here.
Okay, tell me, Kayden, tell me Devale's pet peeve.
Ooh. I'm the one that has all the pet peeves.
Well, we'll get to hear yours in a second.
Devale's pet peeve. Sweeping dirt into the corner and not picking it up.
Bruh.
That is so funny. It's so
I've gotten
random.
so much better, y'all. I've gotten so much better. But you know, it was a household thing.
Huh?
I grew up like that.
Yeah, your mom does it too.
Yeah.
Your
so-
mom does it too.
But now I got a dustbuster specifically for that. I'll sweep it and then I'll dust bust it.
It's funny how you do things you grew up watching, and then like your spouse get mad. I remember I was folding clothes,
I'll
and
never
my family
forget
used to
this.
fold them on like the floor, like you're sitting in front of the
The
TV.
clean clothes on the
And
floor.
she's like, "Why are you folding them?"
Traumatized.
I'm like, "My mama did it." It's like you yelling at my mama.
No, for real though. For
Now
real.
you feel some kind of way because she offended your mother.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But it was college.
I know.
Like, it ain't
Yeah, I
home.
All
I
right,
know.
so Devale, what is Kayden's?
Kayden hates when there are things on the counter in the kitchen.
Yes.
She be blacking on her own parents.
Yeah.
Like I walk in the house and she be like, you know what? It's about, you know what? These interest rates are going down. Y'all gonna get y'all, because if I see anything else on this counter and Mimi be looking at me, I'll be like, take it. So me and her parents have our own little pack.
They have their own support group.
Yeah, we got
Their
our
own support group.
Because they do.
Mm-hmm.
They have to, child.
Okay, last question. I'll start with Kayden. What's your partner, or should I say, what's Devale's love language?
Oh, physical.
Come on now.
Everything
Come
physical.
on now. Come on now, that's my
Affection.
baby right here.
Mr. Affection. Woo, if you play the tape back, you notice I've been like this the whole
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
I see you.
right?
I see you with the PDA.
Yes.
Devale, what's
Yes.
Kayden's?
Yes.
Gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah.
No?
It's not gifts.
No?
I think words of affirmation more than anything. Like, I like to know that I'm doing well. I like to know that you love me.
You know what?
I know he knows that because that's what he does. He does that a lot.
Does it all the
that's
time.
my man's right. It's my man's right here. You need to start listening. You need to start
You
listening.
do it without even realizing that I love that. That's
You're
why when you
right,
tell me
you're
I do something wrong, I'll be like, no.
I wanted to hear the opposite.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
Because you don't be buying me gifts like that, like, and I don't require it.
The only
but-
reason why I came up with that is because when she wanted to get proposed to, she used to put pictures of the ring she wanted everywhere, like the kitchen, the refrigerator,
was just like-
my
I
like that.
laptop.
She had to wear that forever. You couldn't
I
mess
like
that
that.
up. Don't mess that up.
That was just.
You're right, though. And I've still been trying to keep up. Every time I look at her, I'm like, you happy? Are you happy? She's like, yes, I'm happy, baby. I'm happy.
I love it. I like acts of service too because, man, seeing him on the grill or taking out garbage or, you know.
Oh, here we go.
pumping
Now I
gas.
got chores and shit to do.
Yeah, so hey, me too, bro.
That's sexy.
Okay, last part, and we're going to wrap with our 2-minute drill. The last part is called the deep end. And it's just going deeper in your relationship. And I ask this because I talk about this because I think, to your point that you said earlier, a lot of people want to understand, you know, in your relationship when you went through things, how did you come out of it? Right? It's not the fact that we all are similar and we go through things, but what worked for you. So when you think about a pivotal point in your relationship where you went through something, whatever that may be, talk about that and talk about how you got through it together.
I honestly think that what changed our marriage was when we decided that we were no longer going to let things fester. We were going to have conversations in real time and be honest with each other without feeling like we have to sugarcoat things. So when people watch certain things of us on the podcast and they'll be like, I can't believe Kayden talks to Devale like that. Or I can't believe Devale talks to Kayden. What you're honestly watching is us being transparent with each other and not judging each other for how we feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how we've moved on. And we've also said, like, yo, we talking about this now. We're not going to hold on to this for a couple hours. Let's let it out. Let's tell me exactly how you feel. You don't like this. You don't like that. You want me to change this. Cool. I got my marching orders. It's now up to me to decide if I want to be a part of that equation to make us better. And we've both taken on that role.
Yeah. The good thing about being so transparent, and this is stuff that we worked on, like, of course, over the course of our relationship, is giving someone the choice, right? If you're not transparent with someone and you're not being honest about how you feel, you take away their choice to decide whether or not they want to engage further in that relationship. And that can be with a spouse and a partner, or it could even be with a friend or a family member. So that's why we're so big on just saying exactly how you feel. And in that moment, particularly, because we realize too, like, time is a thief. And the more we look at our boys growing, we don't have time to sit here and waste and be upset. Like our I don't even call them arguments anymore. If we have a disagreement, like, it literally comes down to the meat and the potatoes of it. Okay, what do you feel? What's the matter? Why are you upset? Why are you upset? Okay, is this something that we can work through? Are we willing to compromise on it? Does something have to change? Like Devale said, what are the marching orders moving forward? Because it means that much to us to make sure that the other person is okay. And I had to learn to really be honest. Like, sometimes I would say things and agree, or just like kind of, you know, float over something and just think that I would be okay, but I'm not. And then I would be festering in my lonesome, like, damn, I really don't want to do this, or I really should have said that. And I would have to double back. And Devale's like, just be honest off the bat. And it saved us a whole lot of time, y'all. A whole lot of time.
Yeah. That's good. That's actually great. Okay, so I'm going to do the 2-minute drill differently this time. Usually I give you a lot of this or that's, but we did that in the game before. Okay. So my next question for the both of you is, what is next for you individually and together?
Ooh, a lot. So right now I am focusing, I think most people know us as the Ellises, so everything has been combined. We have the podcast, we did the book, we do the live shows and tours and all that together. But right now, in addition to being, I would say, first wife and mom, because that's paramount for me, I am venturing off and starting my own daytime talk show. And it's called The Day with Kay. Yes, and that was the tour that was supposed to be happening in September, but I decided to take it to a digital space so that it can still happen and that people can really get introduced to me as a solo person, conducting interviews, having various segments. So I've already had a couple really amazing interviews in the bag. One of which I'll share with you, Sherry Shepherd, who is...
Oh, I love Sherry.
Yes, who pretty much has like my dream job. Love her down. So she sat with me and we had an amazing interview. I've done a couple different segments, whether it was cooking, makeovers with a new mom. It's really going to be dope. So right now we're fleshing out what the format of the show is going to look like and how we're going to package everything up so that it can live in the digital space so people get accustomed to seeing Kayden in her talk show era. So that's what's on my plate right now. And also working on a product line, very, very preliminary stages of it, but thinking boy, mom, and the things that come along with that territory. So I'm excited for that top of 2025.
All right, Devale, what about you?
Well, in the super future, you know, Sisters comes back October 26th. The team of season 3 comes back October 3rd. Meet Me Next Christmas on Netflix comes out November 6th. So that's my first time as a leading man in a movie. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
I was about to say, don't glaze over that.
There's no.
Everybody loves a Christmas movie,
Yeah,
okay?
That's what I'm talking about. Main character energy.
That's for real, man. For real. Like,
he's living vicariously through you. See this?
That's a fact, bro.
It's never too late, Nate.
No,
okay?
It ain't. It's never too late,
Nate.
Nate.
Too late.
It's never too late. And we have our own production company. We've done so much in the content creation space now that we get direct calls from people. What y'all want to do next? Mm-hmm. So you'll see a lot more TV shows, films. We're producing Othello on Broadway with Jake Gyllenhaal and Denzel Washington.
Wow. That's so dope.
Yeah.
So we're really going to be in New York soon.
We're really going to be in New York. And
Listen.
Right, well, you got to stop by CBS Mornings when you guys are doing that, for real, so we can highlight it, promote it. You come into the studio, that'd be perfect.
That actually would be really, really good to come in to talk about that, because that's a huge project. It's Jake Gyllenhaal and Denzel Washington. Like,
yes.
We'll talk about that and everything else you guys are doing.
Yeah.
We're going to cover it all.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we appreciate you just opening the door, because as much as y'all say y'all look up to us, man, I'll be watching. I'll be like, yo, look at Nate on freaking I'm like, yo, he's doing everything that I thought I was going to do. Seriously. I went to school for broadcast journalism. I remember her mom was just like, dudes, I can see you like, Michael Strahan, you're up here. And then when I look at it, I'm like, Nate is like Michael Strahan. He's doing all of that stuff. So, bro.
See, it was meant to be for us to take these paths, so then we can have the ultimate crossover.
Yes.
And we can work the symmetry that's there. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. And we can do it. We can do it with our beautiful wives. I get excited to see this too, because I look at Atoya and I look at you and I'm like, you can tell these are very articulate, intelligent, beautiful, but dedicated women to their families. And it would be great for us. I know it would be great for Nate, for us to see y'all thrive and do y'all thing. So this is just great to be a part of this.
No, thank y'all so
we
much.
appreciate y'all for this, man, because y'all are doing some great things and y'all represent us well, man.
It's our pleasure to have you. Thank you both for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you both. We appreciate y'all as well.
Thank you, y'all.
All right. Well, that's our show. For the latest on the Inside Lines podcast, make sure to follow on both Instagram and Facebook. You can also check out the website, insidelinespodcast.com, and listen to your favorite episode. Lastly, check out the YouTube page, Inside Lines Podcast, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when a new episode comes out. And please, leave an amazing 5-star review online and let us know who you'd like to hear on Inside Lines Podcast. Until next time, leave it all out on the field. Thanks for listening.